Everyone, it's another exciting day, and today we are going to talk about sugar, and specifically how much sugar is in the drinks you like. There are a lot of sugary drinks out on the market now. It's like there's one brand new sugary drink every week. I'm here to give you the knowledge to make the right choices for you. So when you're going to buy that drink, it should no longer be out of an advert you saw. It should be out of, I know what is in it and I know why I'm buying it. Even if it's a wrong choice, at least you know I will have done my part. Now, first of all, what is wrong with having too much sugar, or what is the right amount of sugar? Let's start from there. Most carbohydrate foods are sugar. At the end of the day, the breakdown of carbohydrates is sugar. So if you're going to eat sweet potatoes, they are sweet potatoes, or called sweet potatoes for a reason. They contain sugar. And that carbohydrate, if it's in a complex form, it will eventually be broken down to simple sugar, which really is something like this. This is not really simple sugar, even this is sucrose, but close to this in the body. Even shima contains sugar, cassava contains sugar, bread contains sugar. But the difference here is that we have what we call intrinsic sugar and we have extrinsic sugar. So intrinsic sugar is the sugar that comes with the food, like milk. Milk contains sugar on its own without even adding anything to it. It already has sugar. Fruits contain sugar, but that is sugar that comes with the food, and so it is not you who has to decide, oh, how much sugar should be in this mango. No, nature has already balanced it out for you. So the problem really is with added sugar, because with intrinsic sugar, you find that, let's say in the case of fruits, it comes with a lot of fiber, with a lot of other components that help to control the release of that sugar in your body. But unfortunately, with sugar that is added to your food, like let's say you make mango jam, and instead of using just the sugar that is in the mango, you come again and add this, the problem becomes this and not really the sugar that is in the mango. I know sugar is sugar. And my colleagues watching out there are like, no, but Belinda, sugar is sugar. Yes, even honey contains sugar. But the beauty of intrinsic sugar is that it is natural, and most likely it has other components to it that will help regulate other issues. Let's say the glycemic index, which is how quickly your sugar levels in your body spike, or the quantities that we consume are not excessive, like in the case of added sugar. So today, I'll talk about sugar in general, but I really will focus more on added sugar. So the recommended amount of sugar is about 5 to 6 teaspoons per day. Now, WHO and a bunch of other scientists went through this, sat together and said, how much added sugar is safe? Because intrinsic sugar is the best sugar, but we have situations where people are adding sugar to their foods. So what guidance can we give them? They looked at a number of factors. They looked at dental caries. They looked at your health, your glycemic index. Excessive amounts of sugar is not good. And so they came up to 5 to 6 teaspoons of sugar per day. Now, a teaspoon in most of our standard homes is about this big. Some homes may not have this because we are so used to using the tablespoon even for putting sugar in our tea, but this is what we call a teaspoon of sugar. It's about 5 grams. I want to show you what 5 grams of sugar looks like. Now, this is not overly heaped like this, but a level teaspoon of sugar, about this much. So this is about 5 grams of sugar. 1 teaspoon of sugar, 5 grams. So when we say 6 teaspoons of sugar, what we mean is about this much. 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 6. This is how much sugar, added sugar, you need per day. Not that you need, but basically you are allowed to have safely per day. You don't need it. Actually, you can do away with added sugar. You do not need to have added sugar. It adds nothing but energy to your food. Even if it's fortified. I know our sugar in Zambia is fortified, and God bless our sugar companies that are fortifying sugar. It's one vehicle that is helping us to alleviate vitamin A deficiency. But we can get vitamin A from a number of other good sources or better sources of food, like the orange flesh sweet potatoes, orange maize, fruits like mangoes, even the green leafy vegetables have vitamin A. It is not necessary that you take sugar, but if you have to take sugar, this is the allowance you have per day, 6 teaspoons. Because we are also looking at your physical activity level. If you consume this, most likely you are going to use it up by the end of the day, and it will cause no harm to your health, or very little if at all. If you can do away with it, even better. Now, coming back to the topic for the day, how much sugar is in the drinks that you are packing for your children in their lunch boxes, that you are packing for yourselves to go to the office? What is in the packaged drinks? Because you have no control, unfortunately, of how much sugar is in these drinks. So the manufacturer basically is telling you, I want you to take 50 teaspoons of sugar, for example. You see, and you take that drink because it has been heavily advertised, and you drink it. Straight into it, let's start with Coca-Cola. Now, the manufacturer has told you, it's by law, Coca-Cola cannot sell you this without this sticker, because it's important that they inform their clients about how much sugar is in it. What's the quantity of this drink? Now, this is 500 mils of Coca-Cola. We have what we call the ingredients list. Carbonated water, sugar, caramel, phosphoric acid, flavoring, and caffeine. You see? So, now, what does that ingredients list tell you? If the first 3, this is the first 5 ingredients, is either salt, sugar, or fat, it's really not a good food for you. It's a food you need to avoid. The ingredients list is listed in a descending order. The ingredients that is in high amount is the first one that is listed, and then the last ingredient is the one that is the least in the food. So in here, what I see is that carbonated water is the first ingredient. Yeah? So you say, yeah, it's just water, and then you have sugar as the second ingredient. So already, which tells you the next big ingredient here apart from water is sugar. And the caffeine that we all go for is the last ingredient. So probably the least ingredient in this drink. But today we are looking at sugar. Remember, number 1, I said you read the quantity. What's the volume of this drink, which is 500 mils. And then the ingredients list, what is in it. So number 3, you then want to look at nutrition information. Again, I needed my magnifying glass to see exactly how much sugar, because it's the second ingredient, but how much of it is in there compared to what I'm told I need to consume, like what the maximum allowance is. The amount of sugar. Now, the table has 2 columns. There's per 100 mils and there's per 250 mils. But remember, my container is 500 mils, so I'm going to multiply the 250 mils by 2 to get how much is in 500. So in 250 mils of Coca-Cola, we have 26.5 grams of sugar. Now, you may say, oh, 26.5 grams is like what? Divide by 5, because remember, a teaspoon is 5 grams. So 26.5 is about 5 teaspoons of sugar. I have my allowance. No, that is in 250 mils, remember. So we are going to then multiply 26.5 by 2, 53 grams of sugar. Divide that by 5, that is over 10 teaspoons of sugar in just 1 bottle of Coca-Cola. And remember, I said our allowance is, actually this bottle of Coca-Cola has almost double, or if not double, this amount. So already we see that this is excessive amount of sugar, and what that will result in is it will fluctuate your sugar levels. So you take this bottle, the next thing you know, your sugar levels go up. And mind you, let's be honest, majority of us are sedentary. We sit behind a computer, we sit in our cars. If you're a driver, you know you're not doing much movement. So what do you need this energy for? 53 grams of sugar to do what? To just sit and drive? Oh, because caffeine, it keeps me awake. But you forget the amount of sugar that is in there. And really, if you have to take caffeine to keep yourself awake, then there's much bigger problems. You need to rest better so that you don't have to rely on caffeine to work. So yeah, this, no, right? Let's go to the next. Another popular drink in Zambia is Fruticana. 430 mils of Fruticana. So in 430 mils, I want to know, okay, it says Fruticana mango, but I want to know what else is in it. Is it truly mango that is there? Like, is it a true mango drink, pure juice or something? So the ingredients list tells me that there is treated water as the first ingredient, and then there is mango puree. So there is some real mango, I guess. Mango puree, and then the third ingredient though is sugar. So already tells me sugar is one of the main ingredients in here, and then of course the others are probably preservatives, citric acid and pectin and you name it, right? But the fact that sugar is the third ingredient, I'm concerned. Now how much sugar though? Let's go to the nutrition information. And again, I don't know, it's either because we don't read that they don't care to make these legible, or is it that you just don't want us to read? Manufacturers, producers out there, what is going on? Why so small? I can't be moving around with the magnifying glass in supermarkets. That's weird. Just make it legible so I know what is in here. But anyway, in Fruticana, 430 mils contains 44.7 grams of sugar. So they'll say total sugar or total carbohydrates, of which sugar. So basically the total carbohydrates and the total amount of sugar are the same. And so that tells you that the only carbohydrate that is in here, or the main carbohydrate, is really sugar. And 44.7 grams is about 9 teaspoons of sugar. And you find that you're giving your kids, if you are taking 2 of these per day, you are exceeding the amount of sugar. And mind you, you haven't even counted the sugar that you added to your tea, or the sugar that you added in the baked scones that you were making, the vitumbua. At the end of the day, you can guess how much sugar we are consuming as a people. All right, that's Fruticana. Next, I see a lot of people consuming this gray bottle here, which at first I used to think this is an alcoholic drink, because you see a lot of people taking this and they look so dazed, and you're like, okay, what is wrong? But anyway, so I'm told that they add alcohol to this and it makes them high. But anyways, we are here to talk about the sugar in here. So again, this is a 330 mils container of Mojo Silver Power. So in Mojo we have carbonated water and then sugar in form of sucrose. So basically sucrose is this, citric acid and so forth. So sugar is the second main ingredient in Mojo. So we go to the nutrition information and it shows us that sugar in 100 mils, there is 6 grams of sugar. Now that's in 100 mils, but this is a 330 mils, so you are going to multiply 6 by 330 and divide by 100, and it's about close to or around 20 grams of sugar. Now 20 grams of sugar, that gives you about what, 4 teaspoons of sugar in 330 mils of Mojo. Close to this already. And if you're going to take 2 of these, you're going to exceed your sugar intake. And well, I don't know what other ingredients are in here, but taurine, and taurine I think is a protein, and a bunch of other preservatives and other things, right? That's Mojo. Another drink I see, I used to, and they've changed the packaging though, and I always wondered, okay, what is in it? Fruity. And in this 350 mils container, there is water and sugar. Yeah, sugar is the second ingredient on here. And how much sugar? 12.9 grams per unit, and the unit is 100 mils. So 350 mils, you can guess 12.9 grams. Do the math. 12.9 times 350 divide by 100 mils. That's the amount of sugar that is in Fruity. And we can go on and on and on and on talking about these beverages. But I guess you get the point. We are consuming excessive amount of sugar from these beverages. If you can, please make your own juice at home from kawawasha, from mabuyu, from lemons, make lemonades, make orangeade. Let's be creative, but if we can't, limit or avoid the intake of some of these drinks because they are really causing us to mess up our sugar levels, and sugar disease or diabetes is becoming a growing problem in Zambia. If you asked me, I would say it is the top most non-communicable disease in this country now. We are now having younger and younger people showing up with diabetes, pre-diabetic, and you do not understand why. So you may say, okay, you're nutritionist, and I've gotten that before. You're nutritionists, you know that these foods are not good for us. Why don't you talk to the manufacturers? It's about your choice. They capitalize on your ignorance, I guess. It's important that we are more informed. When you are well informed about these things, you force them to change. Like, can you relook at how much sugar you are putting in these foods and the quantities that you are prescribing that people take? Because honestly, I'm not going to take half of that and then give my friend the other half to drink. No, you pack what is recommended for someone to consume, or at least tell people the truth so that they make informed choices. Let's start from there. The idea of making these writings so small, I don't know, who are you writing them for if I can't read them? So really, to our manufacturers out there, we want these things legible. Your adverts cannot be the only tool that we use to make decisions, because health is wealth, and let's not play around with our health in the name of a little sweetness there, a little fun here, and so forth. Just the other day, I talked about alcohol and how alcohol messes up our lives and our nutritional status, but that does not make these beverages any better. So now that you know better, choose better.
Way to eat. Subscribe.